Hi, we're Jared and Lori Funk from the Fantastic Funks, and we are sharing the tips and tricks that we've learned traveling to national parks with a family of 6 and a wheelchair. So we have 4 kids, ages 11, twins who are 9, and then a 4-year-old. And Jared is the one who uses a wheelchair. So we're going to be talking about Canyonlands National Park, which is just outside of Moab, Utah. It was about a 30-minute drive from Moab, I would say. So it was more of a drive than we were expecting, but it's a pretty drive. You get to see red rocks along the way and some canyons, and so it's pretty. So Canyonlands is similar to the Grand Canyon, but I guess the canyons are wider than the Grand Canyon, but not as deep. So we didn't know that before we visited there.
Like
but
the stat they gave is Grand Canyon is 2 times as deep, but Canyonlands is twice as wide as the Grand Canyon.
Yeah. So it was cool. It was cool, but definitely not very busy. We went on a Saturday. We thought it would be pretty packed, but I think because Arches is right near there, maybe it's that one draws more people. But so we kind of enjoyed that there weren't as many other people there, and we still had some good views. And so we started at the Island in the Sky Visitor Center. The Island in the Sky area is the one we chose to do because it had more spots that were accessible to stop when we were looking into it. And there's another area called the Needles area that we didn't even get to.
Well, that would have been a drive just to get to it. Like
yeah, it's a totally different entrance, and it's mostly for people who are hiking. So obviously with a wheelchair, that young kids, that wasn't our goal. So we did the Island in the Sky area, and
it was a smaller visitor center.
Yeah, we started at the visitor center, and it was small. But still, the rangers were still helpful as usual. The rangers have always been nice and helpful at the national parks that we've been to. And there's a little movie you can watch about Canyonlands, which is nice. And that's where the kids did their junior ranger stuff. They just finished their little pages right when we were in the visitor center.
Well, one other plug for the rangers, so I was talking to the ranger and like, hey, where should we go? And they give you a map, and you're looking at the map, and things are labeled. But then there's also these other like black dots that aren't labeled. So it's really nice because he's like, oh, this is my favorite spot, and it wasn't like marked, and you for sure go to this one. So it was nice to get those little extra insights. The rangers are always so great.
Yeah, and we stopped at a couple of the spots they mentioned that weren't like necessarily like listed clearly on the map, so that was really helpful. What we did with this one is we drove to the end of the drive. It's just a kind of a drive, you drive up and drive back. So we drove to the end and started there, and we stopped at a stop that was at the end of the road.
Which I actually like that strategy. Yeah. Then you're working your way back.
Yeah. So the first stop we stopped at was the View Point Overlook, and this was super accessible.
Yeah, so you're rolling down. It is slightly downhill, not crazy, but I don't like heights.
Yeah.
And so you are rolling to this cliff's edge.
Yeah.
So
Canyonlands in general was not Jared's favorite because he's not a fan of heights.
But anyway, so yeah, you're rolling down, and very good. And they had a ranger there who does like presentations.
Yeah, they have presentations every so often.
And so you can get right to the fence and look at it, and I mean it's expansive, like it's huge. And there was off to the right, you guys went down so it paved, and then it looked like it was paved or rocks, but it was very uneven. And again, with my height thing, I wasn't even going to attempt that.
And there was the rail or like the fence was built onto like a rock thing, so Jared couldn't get close up to it because the rock, like he was blocked by this rock. So he couldn't get super close to the rail on that spot, but it was still good views. I think it was still good views. And the kids and I were able to hike down. That's the start of a trailhead also. We didn't do the whole hike, but we just hiked down a couple of stairs and then just do a different overlook, and that was pretty cool. Our older 3 did that with me. The youngest was not a fan of the wind after the previous day at Arches where it was super windy. Yeah, so that was a good spot. And then the next spot we stopped was the Cliffs Overlook. So this was not accessible at all, but you could see the same view from like where you park right by the fence. So Jared stayed in the car and was able to see the view, which obviously is not as good as getting out.
Could have gotten out, but it was kind of like, I'm gonna go 5 feet closer or something.
So the kids and I were able to hike down, but there's it's a narrow path and then there's stairs to get down, so it's not accessible for a wheelchair. But the kids and I were able to hike down and be like close to the cliff edge, which was cool. It was some really pretty views also. And then the next spot we stopped was Buck Canyon Overlook, and this for our family was the favorite spot to stop. It was super accessible.
Right up to the fence. Right up to the
paved path all the way up to the.
And it's kind of an incline up when you're going up, but it wasn't anything crazy.
Small incline. Very doable and with normal wheelchair wheels, and you could get right up to the view. And it
was a great view. I actually like that better than the Grand View.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but like the Grand one was just almost too much.
Well, I feel like you could get closer to the fence on this one.
Maybe that's why.
And then there was nobody there.
There was nobody the whole time.
Yeah, the Grand View Point, there was a lot of people because the rangers doing presentations, and this one we didn't see anybody else come, and I don't know why. It was a really great spot, but
my favorite spot.
Yeah, there was like this rock that kids could climb on. They loved that, and it was fun.
A little too close to the edge, but it's fine.
Yeah. Then the next spot we stopped was the Candlestick Tower Overlook, and this is just like a blink and you miss it stop, but it's you have to be paying attention for it, but it's right between the Buck Canyon Overlook and the Green River Overlook. And we wanted to stop because that's the thing that's on all like the magnets and all the promotional material or like the souvenirs things. So we wanted to see it. So the girls and I got out and took a picture, but the boys stayed in the car.
Well, and you could see it from the car. This is one the ranger highlighted because
Yeah.
it is so small. Like I think we missed it and came back.
Yeah.
Because right, wait, that's it, and we had already bought our magnet.
Yeah.
So we're like, well, we gotta see it.
Yeah.
Because it's on the magnet. So
This isn't even a true like overlook though. It's just a
Right.
spot on the side of the road. So
just kind of-
I mean, I
it's
think
more of
there
a
might be a
pull-out.
sign or a pull out.
It's
or
almost more of a
something.
pull out.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was still worth seeing. It's a cool rock formation, so it's interesting. So the next spot we stopped was the Green River Overlook. This was another
a
very
cool one.
accessible, and tons of parking. I think there's
Right. There's a
bathrooms at
bathroom
the
there.
stop. And yeah, paved trail right up to and you could see the Green River, and then like the valley around it was really pretty. And
For whatever reason, it's cool just seeing a river cutting
yeah,
through.
it really
Like,
is.
It was
I love
really
it.
cool.
And it is green, like it looks green, which is kind of crazy.
I don't remember.
Called Green
I
River
guess
Overlook.
we'll take your word for it.
So that was cool and accessible, but we weren't at that spot for super long, I don't think.
Yeah. And we were kind of we've done 5 spots by now, so
Yeah.
I think it's like in and
The
out.
kids
kind of
get tired. It's a lot of work to get the wheelchair loaded and unloaded every time you get out.
The kids are waiting, and
Yeah.
again, it was a nice day. It was hot, but
It was
wasn't,
windy, though,
wasn't
that
crazy.
helped. Yeah, the wind helped cool it off. So then the next spot we stopped was the Mesa Arch, which was not even close to accessible. The ranger didn't even tell us to stop here.
Right.
He specifically said this is not accessible.
We literally, when we pull in, you knew right away. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's steps right away.
The trailhead is immediately like, you know. So Jared waited in the car, and I think at this point he was probably ready for a break from everybody anyway. But the kids and I hiked up to it, and it was like more of a hike than I realized it would be. You go up these stairs and then down, but it was cool. It was really cool. It was definitely worth it if you're able to do it. And our 4-year-old was able to do the whole thing. I think I might have given him a piggyback ride for part of it, but most of it he was able to do. And it was like this arch that you are like right on the edge of this cliff. It's crazy. So if you're afraid of heights, I don't know if Jared would have appreciated it anyway.
I don't mind.
Yeah, but it was really cool. And yeah, it was like a doable hike. Like there wasn't like a lot of loose gravel or anything, but it was a ways in there. So, but that was cool. And then the last spot was the Shafer Overlook, and I think this was another one that the ranger wrote on our map. We'll have to show a picture of the map or link to it, but this was a really cool spot. Half of the family did not want to get out of the car for this one, so Jared.
And I couldn't.
Jared
like
couldn't.
immediately, you're going like
Yeah.
either down steps or it's steep and it's narrow. So
It was
like,
not accessible, but the road is like on like above, and so
Right,
you
so
can
you
see the
could
whole
see
view,
out. Yeah.
which was cool from the car, from the parking lot. So Jared's in the car with our oldest and our youngest, who
We're done.
yeah, well, our oldest is not a fan of heights, and our youngest was just done hiking for the day, and so the twins really wanted to go, so I took them, and it was a really cool spot. It's like this flat, like after you hike down the stairs, it's like this huge flat area, and then you walk across, and you're like basically on the edge of this cliff over this canyon.
Even thinking about it.
Yeah,
I don't like
it was crazy.
I
How
kept
close.
keeping my eye on them. I'm like, they're too close.
Yeah.
Back up.
Well, and it was a super, super windy day, especially down in that area, and so we were very careful to stay far enough away from the edge that like a strong wind wouldn't have made us go over the
Good
edge.
job being careful.
Yeah, so but you can hike up. There's like this rock formation, and you can hike up kind of over it and in between these two rocks. It's pretty cool. This was my favorite stop of the day. I'm sorry that you didn't get to do it with us.
It was a
but
great view.
Yeah.
I just wasn't able to.
the hike down there was really cool though, and it was easy to see. So so that was cool. So that was our experience with Canyonlands. I think it took us about a half a day, maybe.
Maybe like I felt like we got through that one
Yeah.
quicker than Arches.
Yeah, it was quick. I think if you're more into hiking, Canyonlands is probably for that, or camping.
Yeah.
I think there's camping, and but we didn't do any of that. So if for a wheelchair, that was our experience, and that's what worked for us.